So you just picked up your first kit of Warhammer 40K or Warhammer Age of Sigmar models. You rushed home, you tore the plastic off, you built the models. But now how the heck do you get them painted? My name is Jesse, I am that tabletop guy, and on this channel, I bring you the tips, tricks, and tools for fun and enjoyable miniature painting. In this video, I'm going to show you the tools you need to paint your very first miniature. So at a high level, to paint miniatures, you're going to need a handful of things. You're going to need to prime your miniature so that the paint sticks to the plastic better. You're going to need a variety of brushes to put paint onto your miniature with. You're going to need a palette to mix and thin your paint. You're going to need actual paint, and optionally, some washes. So let's talk about brushes first. Now, you've probably seen brushes at art stores or online that go for about $20 to $40 a brush. You're not going to start there. I want you to go to Walmart and pick up a multi-pack of synthetic brushes that retails for around $3 to $5, and they come in a variety of sizes and shades. So what I have here in front of me are two round paint brushes of different sizes, one really big one and one a little smaller, and you can get ones even finer down to this size, which is a size 1, and they go even smaller than that. So the reason why I want you to start with synthetic brushes is that they're cheap and they work for the most part just as well as sable hair or natural hair brushes that are going to be a lot pricier. At this point, it doesn't make sense to buy a high-end brush because you haven't developed the brush control to really take advantage of everything that a higher-end brush can do over a synthetic brush. Now, if you happen to have some higher-end brushes down because you enjoy canvas painting, for example, by all means, if they're friendly for acrylic paints, go ahead and use them. But if you're just starting out brand new to this and you don't have anything right now, I recommend sticking with synthetic brushes for a while. Now, the paint, on the other hand, it's you can spend a little bit of money on paint if you really want to. Personally, I prefer these bottles from Walmart. They're 54 cents for a 59 milliliter bottle of paint. The paint mixes well, it thins down well, and it is the Apple Barrel Matte Finish brand. You can spend more if you want to get actual miniature paint because you're not sure about using non-miniature paint to paint miniatures. Totally get that. I would stick to Vallejo or Army Painter brands and look for a small starter kit that comes with 10 to 12 different colors. Then we have the palette. So the palette is going to be where you mix your paints together to create the different colors you want, as well as where you're going to thin your paints down to the right consistency, because a lot of the times paint straight from the bottle is going to be too thick to go onto our miniature, onto this little guy, and it's going to paint straight from the bottle may fill up all those little ridges and effectively blot out all the detail of your miniature, which we don't want. We want to preserve that texture and those ridges for maximum results. So a lot of YouTubers that you see on YouTube will use something called a wet palette. Start off with a hard palette or a dry palette. This is 97 cents at Walmart. It's perfectly fine. Wet palettes have the advantage of keeping paint wet longer, but again, every gimme has a gotcha. And in this case, with a wet palette, the longer the paint sits on there, the more water it's going to absorb and the thinner it's going to get over time. So if you're trying to put on a thick opaque base coat, eventually that paint's going to water itself down through the wet palette, and it's not going to be as thick and opaque as it was when you started. It's not a huge deal, and if you've already bought a wet palette, by all means, give it a use, it's fine. If you're buying everything from scratch, go ahead and pick up a 97-cent palette from Walmart, and that'll serve you just fine. The last thing you're going to need, well, these are truly optional, but you're going to want some different colored washes. Now, there's no Walmart brand equivalent of washes, so I have here the D&D line of washes from the Army Painter brand. They work great. They do have a coffee staining effect, which we'll go into in future videos. Or you can pick up a pack of oil paints and odorless spirits and make oil washes. But again, that's also a little more intermediate level of a skill. I would recommend just foregoing the washes completely right off the bat, or picking up that starter kit from the Army Painter or from Vallejo, which are likely going to have 1 or 2 washes in that kit. Or you can go to No Much Bazaar or Amazon or any other retailer, and you might be able to find these washes individually packed. I hope that shows you everything that you need to get started painting miniatures. If you enjoyed the video and you got some value from it, hit that like button. If you've seen a few videos on the channel already and you enjoyed them, please consider subscribing to help the channel out. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another one that you might like just as well. And I'll see you in the next video.